evening. This is the India Development Debate right here on ET Now. I'm Supriya Srinath and with me is my colleague and co-anchor Sandeep Kurumurthy. The spotlight is clearly on the unbeatable run of Modi-Shah duo that is soon losing steam, it seems. In a big political setback, the BJP lost the prestigious battle in two key Lok Sabha constituencies of Phulpur and Gorakhpur in the Hindi heartland of Uttar Pradesh, as an unexpected coming together of the Bahujan Samaj Party and the Samajwadis caught the Saffron Brigade completely off guard, it seems. In fact, the Gorakhpur defeat is a big embarrassment for Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who had won the seat with a margin of over 3 lakh votes in elections that were held in 2014. Now remember, the Congress contested separately in both seats, which means that the damage could have been much more had the Grand Old Party been a part of the anti-BJP front.
Indeed, and it's not just UP, there are ominous signs from Bihar as well. Modern-day Chanakya Nitish Kumar saw his calculations going awry after Lalu Prasad Yadav's RJD came up on top in the Jehanabad and Babua constituencies. The Bypoll verdict is clearly a wake-up call to the BJP, which is fighting twin problems of ally trouble and anti-incumbency. Coming on the back of a not-so-impressive show in Modi's home state, Gujarat, the message from UP and Bihar is loud and clear. The 2019 election will be fought on the farm land against the backdrop of rising unemployment. The pointers to BJP from UP and Bihar and its national implications, that's our topic of discussion tonight on the India Development Debate. Joining us on the show this evening, Ghanshyam Tiwari, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Sanjay Jha, National Spokesperson of the Congress Party, Sudhanshu Mittal, Spokesperson of the BJP, Sagarika Ghosh, Consulting Editor, Times of India, and Professor Sanjay Kumar, Director, CSDS. I know politicians are going to take a fair share of the limelight in today's discussion, so let me start off with a commentator. Sagarika, are we reading too much into what essentially is a bipoll verdict? I mean, it's two bipolls at the end of the day in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Are we reading too much into it, drawing too many inferences from what is a bipoll verdict in one state?
Well, in one sense, you're right, Sandeep. There are 5 bipolls, 3 Lok Sabha bipolls, 2 Vidhan Sabha bipolls, but they are very prestigious seats. You know, Phulpur and Gorakhpur are 2 very high-profile, high-prestige seats, because remember, these are the constituencies of the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh and the Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Gorakhpur is the bastion of Yogi Adityanath. It is where the Gorakhnath Mutt is, which is very, very influential. Gorakhpur is where Yogi Adityanath has won from 5 times. It is his citadel, his fortress, and it is there that the Samajwadi Party BSP combine has defeated the BJP. Similarly in Phulpur, now Phulpur, you know, you can say has not really ever been that much in the BJP fold. It was won for the first time by the BJP in 2014 by Deputy Chief Minister Prasad Maurya. But on the other hand, you know, we have to also look at the fact that both Phulpur and Gorakhpur were won by a majority of over 3 lakhs. By the BJP in 2014, and the BJP swept the assembly elections in 2017. The BJP has been dominant in Uttar Pradesh. So this kind of result from these 2 high-profile, high-prestige constituencies, I believe, is very significant. But you're absolutely right. It's a bipoll. We should not read too much, perhaps, into it. The ruling party can say that we did not really take it that seriously. We did not campaign that seriously. There was no Mr. Modi's chemistry there. Mr. Modi himself did not campaign there. But we find that the caste arithmetic of the BSP and the SP has defeated the chemistry of the BJP. And Yogi Adityanath.
That's right.
Similarly, in Bihar, we find that the RJD is also holding there.
Right. You are absolutely right. It was the Grand Caste Coalition or the Rainbow Caste Coalition that many people say Amit Shah owes his success to in UP elections of 2017, and perhaps SP and BSP was about that. But before I throw to the politicians, very quickly to you, Mr. Sanjay Kumar, do the bipolls, and I actually differ. I think it's a very important bipoll. Gorakhpur constituency has been with the Hindu Mahasabha and the Bharatiya Janata Party since 1989, 2018. It continues to be. It's an important election. It's throwing up an important indicator. But does it also reveal that ultimately it all boils down to caste coalitions, to the arithmetic more than the chemistry of elections? Mr. Sanjay?
No, yeah, you're right. You're right that more than the chemistry, Indian elections are all about arithmetic. If it was not all about arithmetic, even in 2014, we know that BJP entered into an alliance with small parties. Why BJP entered into a small alliance with small parties in UP or in Bihar? Not only because BJP was dependent on the chemistry of elections, chemistry of how they actually sync with the voters or how they manage to send out their message to the voters. The whole idea was to build small caste coalition if along with the majority community votes along with you. So elections in India are about caste coalition, and this coming together of BSP and SP in the two by-elections in UP, where you discussed about this Phulpur and Gorakhpur, actually gives you an indication, the results gives an indication that caste arithmetic does work in Indian election, and it has worked very successfully recently in Gorakhpur and Phulpur.
Sudhanshu Mittal, what has gone wrong? I mean, we heard the comments there of Yogi Adityanath taking responsibility and saying these are local issues and 2019 will be about national issues. But yet this was a prestige election without doubt. This kind of a verdict has surely, I'm sure, shocked party cadre and the party leadership. Who do you blame for this verdict?
First, not the blame, first the admission that yes, this verdict has come as a great surprise, rather as a shock to everybody. Probably the kind of seriousness which should have been displayed was not displayed, or probably there is a message which the BJP will certainly like to now understand and decipher. So to dismiss this as something as an aberration for any political party may not be the right approach. Certainly it's a serious matter and this will be dealt very seriously. However, to extrapolate this to be a reflection of the events to come in 2019 may be a bit too far-fetched. Very humbly I like to submit that by-elections at the end of the day are by-elections. Yes, I heard Sagarika as well as Sanjay talking about the arithmetic and the chemistry. I would like to correct Sanjay ji. Sanjay ji, in 2014 it was pure chemistry. You said minor parties were accommodated, but in most of the states we went alone and we won and we swept. In Rajasthan we were alone, in Madhya Pradesh we were alone, in UP the allies had three seats. So I don't think that was the right analogy. Yes, in this election certainly the chemistry has been defeated by arithmetic. There was a time when the index of opposition unity was a concept for the cephalogist, and it reflected how the opposition was united against the Congress. This was the early 80s and the early 90s. That paradigm has now shifted to index of opposition unity vis-a-vis the BJP. Now, certainly the arithmetic has manifested itself and it is a cause of worry to anybody who is a close watcher of these elections. So I'm not even debating that. Fundamentally, I would say again that when it comes to the national elections, it's a different thing altogether. When it comes to the by polls, there are a lot of local issues. There are certainly a lot of local dynamics which take place.
Right.
So the micro manifestation may not be reflective of the macro. However, I would not take away.
Right.
The significance of these by-elections.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I would never take away the significance of the message of this by-election,
Right.
and I would be very serious about it.
Mr. Mittal, I think at least there's a candid admission from the BJP that you were shocked with these by-election results, and being the big political pole position that you're now in, at least you're not dismissive about them, which is exactly what perhaps the opposition lacks today. I have a question for Ghanshyam Tiwari, and Ghanshyam Tiwari, congratulations on a good show in Uttar Pradesh. But, you know, one is tempted to ask you this great chemistry between the SP and the BSP and the arithmetic combined has obviously made you win both Phulpur and Gorakhpur, constituencies where you were trounced in for years now. The 2019 alliance, people are tempted to ask, are we going to see a major 2019 alliance between the two of you, the two warring factions at one point in time and now close allies?
Well, I have always believed that the best alliances are the ones that are formed on the ground first and politically later. SP-BSP alliance did not emerge as an arithmetic alliance. The voters and supporters on the ground were together far sooner than the leadership got together. At no point during this campaign did we as SP, and I would be honest in admitting this, did we as an SP receive any complaint about alliance not working on the ground. In fact, our workers were jubilant that BSP's voters and supporters had come together with force to support the voice against a government that was not delivering to people.
Okay, Sanjay Jha, then, is the Congress party celebrating the fact that this sort of mandate has come in against the BJP, or is it introspecting? Because frankly, in Phulpur, an independent candidate, Atiq Ahmed, has polled more votes than the Congress, and this was the seat of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So, is the Congress party introspecting or celebrating today?
Sandeep, if you look at the over the last 2 years, between 2017 and 18, you will find that the Bharatiya Janata Party has actually lost 10 by-elections to the Lok Sabha. It is quite an extraordinary trend. And while today it's very easy to just look at Yogi Adityanath's terribly incompetent performance, and we all know that nothing much has really happened in Uttar Pradesh, the fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, this is also a referendum on Mr. Narendra Modi. I mean, don't forget that just a couple of weeks ago, they lost 2 Lok Sabha by-elections to Rajasthan. I mean, there is at the moment a high degree of popular discontentment across India. And what is happening is, issues like jobs, which you debate on your channel very often, have the youth extremely disillusioned. You have just seen the farmer agitation in Maharashtra peaking. I mean, there are people walking barefoot 180 kilometers. Why do you think are they doing it? And by the way, let me tell you, that's symptomatic of a larger pan-India malaise that the entire farming community is going through. So if farmers, the youth and the middle class of India, which has completely been let down, not just by the recent budget, but by the high taxes they have been paying, the exorbitant duties they have paid on, gasoline prices.
One will interpret, Sanjay,
I think you have a collective sense of what I call as a massive disappointment in the country.
No one is disputing that, but you're not answering my question on what the Congress party is doing today. Is it introspecting or celebrate? I agree that this is a vote against the BJP, but it's an equally terrible performance of the Congress party that an independent candidate polls more in Phulpur. What was the need for the Congress party to have fielded a candidate in these? Why couldn't they support a Samajwadi Party and BSP? What are we going to say about how long will this Navnirman in Uttar Pradesh happen, as the Congress President Rahul Gandhi says?
And Sanjay Jha, before we answer that question, what is the whole point of having dinner diplomacy when you're going to be contesting bypolls on your own and then putting on this dismal show?
A very pertinent question, both Supriya and Sandeep. Let me tell you this, that in the dinner meeting that happened yesterday, I think we were looking at a larger political strategy for the 2019 elections. I do believe that the question you are raising is a very valid one, because the truth is, in our opinion, the Congress party has to focus on the low-hanging fruits, and those are the states where it's the BJP versus Congress, like Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Karnataka. But I believe that if these 4 states, where we are extremely confident of a very good performance, go the way of the Congress party, I think the 2019 elections are clearly wide open at this stage. But the pertinent point here is that if you notice, even in Bihar, where the RJD, the Congress has its own political understanding, we have done well, although we lost 1 assembly seat there. But the larger message is that if in Uttar Pradesh, if there is a Mahagathbandhan, and it's not for me to start making predictions on it, but it makes logical sense, because the BJP, which won 73 seats there, and I was reading Sanjay's predictions based on the arithmetic that he's done, that the BJP could be down to less than 15 seats. So end of day, I think it's a combination of political arrogance and administrative incompetence and total failure at the ground level, which is going to contribute to the downfall of the BJP.
Okay, let's not sit and predict the downfall of the BJP. The Congress has a lot of soul searching to do of your own. But I will take it across to the BJP. Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, my direct question to you is, your chief minister in Uttar Pradesh spoke a short while back, and he said it's our overconfidence that was also one of the factors, and we failed to assess the impact of the SP-BSP alliance. Do you believe as a party you failed to estimate the index of opposition unity that was seen in the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar and yet again in Uttar Pradesh?
He was absolutely on the dot, but before I comment on that, two small comments. I heard Mr. Sanjay Jha. His comment seems to be that of a victor instead of a vanquished. A party which could not even save its deposits is gloating over somebody else's defeat. Seems to be a very strange mindset. I can appreciate Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari being jubilant because yes, he's won. I can appreciate that. But for Mr. Jha to be so arrogant about the defeat of BJP without looking at your own performance. So now let me come down to Mr. Yogi's statement. Yes, Mr. Yogi is right when he says that we did not, because when the election started, this combination was not there. It started over after the elections were announced and after the nominations were filed. And it was at the fag end of the campaign that BSP openly came in support of the SP. And neither were we prepared nor were we anticipating this kind of thing, and certainly it has made an effect. One more thing which is very critical in this election is the low turnout, voter turnout. In the urban areas of both the constituencies, if you would see that the turnout in the urban area has been extremely poor, which normally is the bastion of the BJP. So yes, though there is a defeat, and I'm not offering any explanation for that. I think it requires very, very serious understanding of the situation. But these are the pointers which also have to be considered while analyzing it, that there was a very low turnover of urban voters in this. And as I said, we did not anticipate, because at the start of this election, the SP-BSP support system was never announced. It was not there. BSP had a policy of not contesting the by-elections, and so by virtue of that policy they were not contesting the by-election, but that they would openly support somebody whom they have abhorred all their lives is something which was most unexpected. But as they say in politics, stage bedfellows become partners. That's okay.
The
but
BJP,
that's the reality of Indian politics, so be it.
Fair, like
So
the BJP and PDP as well, Mr. Mittal, who are very strange partners and who are there for power. So, but let's keep that aside. Sanjay Kumar, I'm coming to you. And I want you, you're the analyst, so to say. First, can we extrapolate anything out of this Bypoll results? And second, if so, what is that extrapolation? I mean, what is the inference that we can draw, assuming that Samajwadi Party and BSP will contest together? Congress, whether it is a part of it or not, is unlikely to add much weight to that alliance. But assuming that SP and BSP were to contest together, what is the extrapolation that you can make at this point in time?
First, we can look at it in the historical point of view, that if BSP and SP has contested the Lok Sabha elections, 2014 Lok Sabha elections together, the scenario would have been different. Yes, it would have been different, assuming that all the votes of SP and BSP would have come together. Then BSP, SP would have got something around 41 seats and BJP would have got about 36, 37 seats. If we actually translate the assembly election results into the Lok Sabha election results, the scenario is not going to change. It remains more or less the same as the scenario would change with regard to 2014. If SP and BSP would have contested the 2017 assembly elections together, I don't think we would have had the BJP government at the moment. Again, assuming that both the votes of both the parties would have come together. But as we know, even if you have alliance, the votes of the two parties, we don't say 2 and 2 plus 2 and 2 add 4 in politics. So all the vote doesn't come together. But I think if we look at the results of Gorakhpur and Phulpur, I think something different has happened. I was not assuming that BSP SP votes will come together. I think more than that what has happened is that the BJP's vote share has come down, and that is a warning for the BJP, that the vote support base of BJP has come down compared to 2014, because BJP has polled more than 50% votes both in Gorakhpur and Phulpur in 2014 elections. Coming back to the last question, do we see, or can I say that we would see what results we may
Carry on, Mr. Kumar.
No, I was saying that can we say that if the BSP and SP come together, what kind of a result we can see in 2019? I don't think that kind of results we are seeing when we actually go back to the history and add the votes together. But yes, coming together of BSP and SP definitely pushes back BJP. I can say that BSP and SP, if BSP and SP come together, I think BJP's seats can be reduced to half. They can come down from 73 to say roughly about 37 seats.
Okay, Ghanshyam Tiwari, I'm going to come to you on this while we are talking about this grand alliance of theirs.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, I'll just come to you. I'll just come to you, Mr. Mittal, in a minute from now. You know, in 2017, we saw UP ke ladke Akhilesh and Mr. Gandhi get together, Rahul Gandhi there. And then 2018 sees this grand alliance, Bua Bhatija. 2019, will the SP explore this national alliance of sorts with the BSP, and what sort of a role do you envisage for the Congress party amidst it all? You know, dinner diplomacy and everything set aside, if there has to be an anti-Modi or an anti-BJP front, I'm presuming the SP, BSP and the Congress will have to come together. Are you going to explore a front like that?
Well, I think 2019 election, people are the center stage. There is no charismatic leader or one party who's at the center stage. It is people of India versus a very arrogant BJP that has failed the people of India. So we believe that every party will come in and contribute to that alliance rather than demanding first that they lead the alliance or they be at the center of the alliance. Whether it is in Bengal, whether it is in Uttar Pradesh, you will see India first, where every region plays its role in a true federal structure, rather than India first, where one party in a by and large autocratic manner dictates what each state unit should do.
I have one question to Sagarika on sort of the interpretation of this result before we talk about the national implications and 2019, which suddenly seems not so far away. But Sagarika, whose loss is it? I mean, is it, I know it's being sort of projected as a loss of Yogi and because of local issues, etc. We didn't see, Prime Minister Modi actively campaign, like you pointed out. One wonders why. Were they confident that they would win, or did he leave Yogi to manage his election on his own? Is it in any sort of a way a referendum, like Sanjay Jha said, a referendum on policies of this government, rural crisis? I mean, can we draw those inferences really, or is it all about local issues, caste combination that came together and that sort of gave us this sort of an outcome?
Well, it is, of course, as we've been saying, it is about the caste arithmetic. But, as Sanjay Kumar was pointing out, that the kind of victory we've seen for the SP-BSP combine in Gorakhpur and in Phulpur, the kind of swing, he'll be able to enlighten you more on this. There has to be some disenchantment with the BJP itself. And that is a cause for worry. Of course, it is caste arithmetic, but this kind of swing away in a bastion where you won by over 3 lakh votes, this kind of swing away would suggest that there is a swing away from the BJP. And I want to draw your attention to an extremely insightful article written by Swaminathan Iyer, where he speaks about the rise of anti-incumbency. If you're in power in 21 states, you're going to face anti-incumbency in 21 states. The fact is, it's anti-incumbency which is working everywhere. It throughout Manik Sarkar in Tripura, it throughout the governments in the northeast, and it is spelling real danger for the BJP. What's really surprising is that the Yogi government has been in power for only 1 year, and already we're seeing signs of anti-incumbency. This is what is very, very worrying. So when you're in power in north and west in the dominant way that the BJP is, they have to worry that they may have reached saturation point and they will face anti-incumbency in a number of these states. So I believe this bypoll, and as you say, it's a bypoll, we shouldn't extrapolate too much, but at the same time, what we can draw is that the BJP is significantly vulnerable in North and West India because of this rising tide of anti-incumbency. Anti-incumbency is now center stage of Indian politics, and it is taking a toll on every state government. The other point I want to make is that the opposition has clearly realized that in unity lies their strength. The only way they can defeat the Amit Shah school of election management, the BJP juggernaut, the Modi juggernaut, is to unite. But you see, how will they unite? Because Mayawati is against the Congress in Karnataka. The NCP is against the Congress in Gujarat. So there are local contradictions that there are between these parties. And also, as you rightly pointed out to Sanjay Jha, is the Congress willing to take the back seat? Is the Congress willing to compromise and sacrifice its so-called national leadership ambitions? Because clearly it will have to give way.
Yes, yes. Sagarika, hold your thoughts there, because the point that you made about BJP peaking out and this anti-incumbency is a point that I want to take forward, Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal. I know you had a point to make there, Mr. Mittal, so go ahead and make your point. But also answer this question. Will the biggest problem for the BJP going ahead going to be anti-incumbency? You're present in 21 states. You will be facing voter ire there. And apart from that, forget about anti-incumbency, the Hindi heartland, whether it's Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Delhi, these are places where you have peaked. The only way you can head now is not north but south.
First, I would have liked Sanjay ji, not Mr. Sanjay Jha, the psephologist, to have explained the consequences of a low turnout on what the results are. I think that would have put the things in perspective, and it would have convinced that it is not something which can really be extrapolated at a national level. Secondly, the issue of anti-incumbency is an issue which is well taken, but at the same time we are forgetting one thing, that elections after elections in the states, people again vote back BJP. So once, if anti-incumbency is something which is running across the board, then election after election BJP could not have been winning. Look at the number of states we have won today, and this is not just we won in 2014. Every successive year we have been increasing the tally. So while anti-incumbency is a factor, at the same time, please understand that when people vote, they look at two things: A, the performance of the government; B, the alternative. And these are the factors which are certainly going to be to the advantage of BJP. Thirdly, as I said, you have rightly said that in North BJP has peaked. But when it comes to a national election, the issues when people vote for the nation, at that point of time, the comparative will be before the people. And the comparative, the answer to the comparative is so obvious that I'm not too sure whether what we peaked at would not be repeated. I mean, I would be very distinct. Lastly, there is a certain expansion we've seen not only in the west, in the east, as well as the south. And strategic alliances in all these places will always help BJP to be where we are today. So for the doomsday seers, I would say, वो तिनके का सहारा लेके आप खुश जरूर हो रहे हैं. हाँ, उस तिनके ने हमें भी चिंता में डाला है, लेकिन वो तिनका जो है भविष्य की ओर संकेत पूरी नहीं कर रहा है. भविष्य अभी भी भाजपा का ही है.
मित्तल जी, डूबते को बचाने के लिए कभी-कभी कहते हैं तिनका भी काफी होता है.
वो डूबने वाले को, आप समझे नहीं, आपने उसमें सुना है, वो डूबने वाले को, वो डूबने वाले के लिए तिनके का सहारा बहुत है. मैं डूबने वाले के लिए, मैं जीतने वाले की बात कर रहा हूँ.
Okay. Tinka politics aside, Sanjay Jha, an important question is the point that Sagarika raised. Is the Congress willing to now play the role of a junior partner in states like Uttar Pradesh? And have you lost whatever little leverage you had by fielding your candidates in Phulpur and Gorakhpur? Because, you know, when you get to assuming that this alliance does happen between SP, BSP and Congress, it is evident that SP plus Congress is not a winning combination. SP plus BSP is a winning combination, as the 2017 and 2018 elections show. So have you lost whatever little leverage you had, and are you willing to play the role of a junior partner in states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar?
You know, Sandeep, a very relevant question, but if you do the real math on India's electoral map, I mean, approximately, and you can give or take 10 or 12 seats here and there, but around 282 seats are a direct contest, virtually a direct contest between the Congress and the BJP. The balance, I do believe, I don't think the Congress stands as a formidable, shall we say, contestant in the other states, and there I think the Mahagathbandhan or a Gathbandhan will be an extremely critical factor. Therefore, I believe, and I think this is a point I'm saying with all humility, please don't think that my party is being arrogant about it, that's BJP's prerogative, but I think the Congress party will have to be the linchpin or the fulcrum around creating a very strong opposition to Mr. Modi's government. And I think, this is something that we need to comprehend at a very early stage, because if you look at the Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and the Rajasthan elections coming up, I mean, the Congress and the BJP are literally head to head. And I think these results are going to be extremely significant portents towards what 2019 holds in store. But I do agree with you completely. And I will say this again, that as Mr. Gandhi has tweeted today, that we as a party will be extremely accommodative. And I personally believe that end of day we should focus on the low hanging fruits where we can defeat the BJP on a head on contest, and where, for example, Uttar Pradesh is a perfect example for it. The SP-BSP combination is formidable. Please don't write us off in UP completely. We also have a very, I think the base may have shrunk, but it's close to around 10 to 12%. It can go up. And I think if the three parties were to come together, I definitely believe that's a recommended way forward in Uttar Pradesh for sure. It's a crucial state for all of us. And I think then we have a chance to actually perhaps humble BJP completely in Uttar Pradesh. It's a huge possibility. Okay. So I agree with you that we need to make a larger political accommodation in states where we are not front runners. No doubt about that.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that the Congress party has come to terms with the fact that political accommodation will have to be. Mr. Mistal, give me a minute. Mr. Mistal, give me a minute. You had raised some points. Let me go across to Sanjay Kumar on the point that you raised about vote share. But Sanjay Kumar, also the question is on the direct contest seats. Will election 2019, and as it turns out to be, will it be a Modi versus battles in individual states? So it's going to be perhaps an Akhilesh and a Mayawati that he'll have to take on in UP, a Mamta in West Bengal, Lalu perhaps in Bihar. Is that the nature of politics going to be in 2019?
No, certainly that's going to be the nature of politics in 2019. Sanjay Jha was mentioning about some of the Hindi heartland state where Congress and BJP are in direct contest. So Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Himachal, we can put Delhi doesn't fit into that category now, but there are some other states. So in these states, Congress has the best chance to pull some seats. But still the difficulty with the Congress is that Congress has not only lost elections in these states, they have been out of power in Madhya Pradesh for last 15 years, they have been out of power in Chhattisgarh for last 15 years, but in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, these are the states where they have trailed behind the BJP by a huge margin. That has also happened in Chhattisgarh in the Lok Sabha elections, while in the assembly election the vote share difference between Congress and BJP in Chhattisgarh is very less. This is just 1% difference. So in my opinion, Chhattisgarh is the best bet for Congress to win elections, but surprisingly they have not been able to do that for the last 15 years. Last 3 elections in Chhattisgarh has been decided by less than 1% vote, or roughly about 1% vote. So Congress still has a chance in the Hindi heartland state where BJP is in a direct contest. It is in the interest of Congress to leave the space for other regional leaders, states like say UP, Bihar, West Bengal and many other states where Congress is not a force. If Congress tries to impose itself as a dominant party, that would be helping BJP to win many seats in these states. So it is going to be a scenario where Congress versus BJP in the Hindi heartland state, wherever Congress is in a direct contest, and it has to be in the interest of the opposition unity. Let Mamta Banerjee lead the fight against the BJP in West Bengal, and similarly regional leaders to be allowed to lead the fight against BJP in states where regional parties are strong.
Okay, Sudhanshu Mittal, I'm coming to you, but I need to take a very quick break. Please do stay with us. This is a fascinating debate, minus the noise that you see everywhere. We're coming back in just a few minutes, and I have 2 important questions on the other side. How is Prime Minister Modi going to read the verdict? Should we prepare for more Hindutva? Will he veer towards more populism? And more importantly, what is the policy or what is the agenda of this so-called third front with Congress as a part of it? Do they have a national agenda? We'll debate that in just a few minutes from now. Do stay with us right here on the India Development Debate.
Back in a moment. good to be back with you once again on the India Development Debate, and tonight we're putting the spotlight on the verdicts across Phulpur, Gorakhpur and also the constituencies in Bihar. I'm going to take this across to Ghanshyam Tiwari. And Ghanshyam, critics believe that an opportunistic alliance of the kinds that you and BSP have gotten into don't really last. They don't have a common ideology. We saw that grand Mahabandhan experiment fizzle out in Bihar when Nitish Kumar walked out on Lalu Yadav. What gives you the conviction that this is going to see through? I mean, how do you believe and you know, how do you see this pan out, the SP and the BSP combined? Because similar experiments in the past have bombed.
Well, that one, I respect that criticism. It is fair for every independent voice to criticize parties who are coming together after speaking against one another, and it is also fair to criticize to understand whether this alliance would last or not. But the reality of alliance both in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh that we see is that these are alliances which are ground up. They represent the same people with similar aspirations, marginalized by the same kind of misgovernance that exists, that does not allow the poor to prosper. The demands are similar, that youth should find job, that the marginalized should find their voice in society, that the farmers should have a chance to live a life of prosperity, that women should be safe, and that infrastructure in the state should develop, that propaganda around Hindutva should be cut to size. The biggest aspect of this verdict is that the greatest emerging mascot of Hindutva, a propaganda-driven Hindutva, Yogi Adityanath, has been cut to size. I am sure that BJP will take a lesson, and I would not be surprised if Yogi Adityanath and the Deputy Chief Minister are made to resign.
You know, Sagarika, I'm not so sure if markets are really seeing what's going on, because from the point of view of markets and the business community, a weak BJP and a wobbly Congress is not a desirable outcome. To see, you know, regional parties take center stage, have, you know, increase their political clout is not necessarily an outcome that markets typically like, and they like stability. They like one of the two national parties to have dominance. How worried do you think should the business community be on the possibility of you know, of this so-called third front you know, having greater political clout?
Well, I think the way to look at it, Sandeep, is that the coming election, the way I see it, Mr. Modi is going to play it completely presidential. I think the only option he has is to go to the people with his personality. And, you know, I'm sure the business community and the markets would rally around Mr. Modi as a personality. I think he's going to play what Indira Gandhi played in 1971. Wo kehte hain Modi hatao, main kehta hu desh bachao. So it's going to be Modi versus all the rest. Now, I think the opposition will make a big mistake if they make their politics about Modi, if they make their alliance about Modi, if they make theirs an alliance versus Modi, if it becomes Modi versus the rest, because then it becomes, it gives Mr. Modi a victimhood halo, it gives him a larger than life personality, he becomes the center of politics, he becomes the center of the political scenario. But I think we're going to see Mr. Modi play a highly presidential campaign in 2019, a personality centered campaign. Remember, there's also the game changer Ayodhya judgment that is going to come from the Supreme Court. How that judgment plays out and whose favor that judgment plays out, I'm sure that the political parties of all hues will seek to capitalize on that judgment and go into UP with that judgment of whichever color it is, whether it goes in favor of the Babri Masjid or in fact the Ram Temple. So the opposition is going to have to find other issues, state level issues, local level issues to actually fight this election. And I think what the business community can look forward to, I mean, I don't know whether they can look forward to it, but what they can expect is, as I said, the anti-incumbency factor is going to play. There is going to be a large amount of voter dissatisfaction that is going to come up time and time again. But remember, if the, you know, Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal was talking about the chief ministers who've managed to endure through anti-incumbency, Raman Singh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Narendra Modi himself, Naveen Patnaik, Manik Sarkar. These are people who've bucked anti-incumbency. And I think the lesson that the voter is giving is when you do deliver good governance, when you are personally clean, when you are personally honest and you deliver the modicum of services and welfare, then you can defeat anti-incumbency. The fact is, the Modi, Gorakhpur, the Yogi Adityanath government so far has had a very mixed record. We've seen him move on law and order, but we really don't see any visible delivery of governance, any visible delivery of welfare. So I think where the business community can draw comfort is when a chief minister does deliver on governance, on welfare, when he's seen to be personally clean. Yes, he then can defeat anti-incumbency, but you know, when there is no delivery of that governance, then anti-incumbency comes in like a tidal wave and that person is swept out. But I also think we are going to look at a presidential campaign in 2019 versus an opposition which is going to try not to make it presidential and make it local. So Mr. Modi will make it all about Modi, opposition will try to make it all about local.
Okay. Sanjay Jha, I want you to come in on the point that a lot of people are asking that if this grand anti-Modi, anti-BJP front has to come together and Congress has taken the lead.
If I have to face 4 against 1 and you are not giving me a chance, what is the point of my being here?
Mr. Mittal, I have given you plenty of chances. The one thing that you know, Mr. Mittal.
If you ignore me, then forget it. I am not interested.
Mr. Mittal, this is not fair. No, Mr. Mittal, this is not fair. We have given you enough. No, Mr. Mittal. Mr. Mittal, this is not fair. You can't do that. No, Mr. Mittal, this is not fair. I think we've given everybody equal opportunity. I am counting the answers that I'm questions I'm asking people. No, Mr. Mittal, that is not fair.
I'll speak, otherwise I'm not interested.
Mr.
Mittal, I don't think.
Sir, you please look at the recording. Mr. Sanjay Jha spoke. I've been raising my finger. You are ignoring me.
Mr. Mittal,
I am not ignoring you. I will come to you next after I take a question with Sanjay Jha. No, Mr. Mittal.
We'll come to you next. We'll come to you next, Mr. Mittal. We'll come to you next.
Mr. Mittal, I was going to come to you right after Sanjay Jha because I want to take a closing big question with you. So I will come to you as soon as he answers the question that I'm going to ask him. And I don't think you can tell us that we have a bias. We have a very balanced panel. We've given everybody equal participation. I actually am a little hurt with what you've said. But Sanjay Jha, before you, I'll take that question because I have to go to Mr. Mittal next. And the question is that everybody is questioning what sort of an economic ideology will this grand alliance have? You don't have a common ideology that binds you. What is it that you will go to people and promise them? At least one knows what the BJP wants to offer economically and has promised. What is this grand alliance, this grand coalition's economic ideology?
You know, Supriya, again, a very, very pertinent point. But if you look at both UPA 1 and UPA 2, and we had fairly stable coalition partners, although some of them, you know, at some point momentarily deserted it. They were all driven by the common agenda of inclusive growth, or what we call as development with equity, because I think that is the foundational value of all the parties that we're talking about. Even Ghanshyam's party and ours, you know, at the end of the day, we fight for the dispossessed, for the farmers, for the poor. I mean, end of day, you know, there is a defining philosophy of parties. Like in America, everybody knows the Republicans want to cut taxes and actually work on growth without social welfare. That's a BJP model in India. The Congress is diametrically opposed to it. And I think the point that we need to recognize here, that if you remember, Supriya and Sandeep, in 2004, when the UPA won the elections and everybody knew we were going to form the government, the markets tanked remarkably because they said, well, the CPM being a partner, what can we expect for the capital-friendly market? But the truth is, during the time that we were there for 10 years, the GDP went up 300 times, 300% by the way. And the stock markets moved up from 4,000, around a level of 4,000, the Sensex, up to 25,000 levels. So I think if you ask me, the Congress party has been extremely, you know, market friendly. We are the ones who liberalized the country. We are the ones who bought FDI and multi-brand retail that the BJP is actually quashed. Okay. So the truth is that maybe we need to make a positive perception that this is a party that believes in growth but also equity. And I think that's going to be the differentiating factor.
Yes, but we also remember the common minimum program and how eventually you have to break up with the left, but let's leave that for another debate. Sudhanshu Mittal, coming to you, I know you had a point to make. Please do make that point. And I have a specific question to ask you on how is your party leadership going to read this verdict? Is it going to put pressure on your party to become more populist, to look at more left-of-center policies, because this is seen as a right-of-center government, at least economic, as far as economic ideology is concerned, but many of its policies have been more towards left-of-center. So will it force the government to go more populist, and are we likely to see a stronger push towards Hindutva? How is this verdict going to be interpreted?
Now, let me first respond to the two Sanjays who propounded the theory that BJP and Congress are in a large number of seats against each other. There are only 102 seats and not 282 seats where there is a direct competition between BJP and Congress, and in the Hindi heartland, just 102 seats. Rest seats, it's either the regional parties or other parties which are all together, you know. So it's direct competition between BJP and Congress is only 102 seats. The challenge is, when we talk about the index of opposition unity, Sanjay should understand this, Sanjay Kumar, not Sanjay Jha. The issue will come in the national elections. While on one hand you have Modi's leadership, what about the leadership on the other side? Are the people who are substantially in a position in their own states going to accept the leadership of Rahul Gandhi, who in only 102 seats is competing against BJP? Rest, it is all the others who are there. So this is a major challenge and this will be a major hurdle. So either the Congress relinquishes its right to lead the coalition against BJP and says, look, the regional parties are stronger than I am, they will lead it, fine, that's a different issue. But till such time that the leadership of the anti-BJP forces vests with the Congress, I have my own doubts on that. Yes, this verdict certainly will make us introspect. I have said it again, earlier also I am saying it again. It will make us introspect in terms of what are the factors which led to this defeat. But this is no referendum, or this is no rejection of the economic policy of BJP or the entire polity of BJP. As far as your reference to the going back to the Hindutva is concerned, let me tell you one thing. BJP
You've been humiliated on your own turf.
Can I finish?
Mr. Jha, let him
Humiliated on your own
complete.
Can I finish?
Let him complete. We're running out of
We
time.
can have a decent debate.
Yeah, sure. Let him complete his point. Yes.
Mr. Jha, let him
So
complete.
the last statement which I want to make is that BJP fought the 2014 election, 2017 election, all the elections on the issue of development, on the issue of good governance, on the issue of non-corrupt governance, and that is the issue we'll still present before the people. We never fought any election on communal lines. In fact, it was nationalism versus the communalism of the other political parties in the garb of secularism, the pseudo-secularism. So these parties again would like to make this as a platform of nationalism versus their communalism. So be it. We have no issues. We went for good governance, we went for development, we went for good politics. And that is what we are going to continue to do it.
Fair enough.
These elections are not a rejection of that endeavor of the BJP.
Okay. And, you know, much as Sanjay Jha, much as I'd like you to come in with a rebuttal, then I'm going to be accused of saying not giving fair chance to every panelist. I don't have enough time for more than one word, and that's going to go to Sanjay Kumar, Professor Sanjay Kumar. One question to every panelist after break. Simple, you know, Sudhanshu Mittal can accuse us, but Sanjay Kumar, simple question to you, and this is the last word really. Is 2019 now anybody's election to win? I mean, it seemed like it was Modi's election to lose. Does it now appear that 2019 is anybody's election to win? Has that tectonic shift happened? Or again, are we reading too much into what essentially is a bipolar result of two states? That's all.
No, I think we are reading too much on these bipolar results. I don't think 2019 election is wide open. Anybody can win this election. I would still say BJP has a very strong chance for winning 2019 election. It is open. I won't say it is wide open. It is only open to allow opposition leaders to breathe, to feel happy, and to get some fresh air. It is not that wide open to allow them to actually get inside and form the government.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. We all love a good political fight, and hopefully 2019 will present a good political fight for sure. Sudhanshu Mittal, Sanjay Jha, Shagurika Ghosh, Sanjay Kumar and Ghanshyam Tiwari, really appreciate you taking the time and joining us in this fiery debate on the India development debate right here on ET Now.
Thank you very much for being with us. But they say Hukumat-e Daulat Nashaye Sabab is what they say in Lucknow, the place that I come from and where roads to New Delhi often lead to. But thank you very much for being on that special edition of the India Development Debate. The two constituencies have spoken. The battle for 2019 is very much on.